What's up guys, welcome back to the next video on learning PHP. My name is QDS and you guys watching my channel Coriowood. Alright, so previous video we've seen a cookie, what is cookies, and in this video we're going to see session. What is session? Session is one of the most important super global inside the PHP. As you guys know that like a post is very important, get is very important. You guys see the server, this is our server. It shows, the server shows the root of your files, and we've seen the cookie that you guys can track the user's movement, whatever the user do, and you can remember the users whatever you guys want to remember, and the files which is for uploading, and the environment which is for the future videos. And we're going to see the request as well, but in this video we're going to see sessions. So we almost cover all of them except few, and the sessions are one of the very important ones. Super global, PHP super global. So as I said to you guys, this is very important. So we come here and we put our session and we say session, and as the name here, and PHP super global, SESSION, session. Okay, and then you guys can put your variable here. You guys can put a variable, but session and cookie, and you've seen the session and this guy here, the cookie, they both stores inside the server, inside this guy here. So your session, when you guys log in inside the any Amazon or Twitter, or you guys log in anywhere, your session starts, because you as a programmer should start the session. When the user logs out, you guys should destroy the session, because you guys can just leave the session started, and you guys should destroy the session, because this session remembers when the it starts as soon as the user log in or register, and the session begins just like a normal session. You go conference, whatever, you go inside there and your session starts, and when you get out of the conference, whatever, your session ends. So that's exactly like this session, and the session is very important because it remembers everything whatever the user do, because you guys can see that the default, whatever you guys gonna see, number, weird numbers, because it's encrypted. The default is PHP. What you guys gonna see, PHP SESSID. So that's how the default you're gonna see, the PHP SESSID. That's what the default you're gonna see. So we're gonna show you guys how you guys gonna start the session. Very simple, and the session has nothing to do with the HTTP request, and it's, as I said to you guys, very important variable, as it holds the state data of the user. And whatever the request is made, it holds that data according to that request. And you guys as customers, as a client, they can access the session data. So as like a cookies, you guys can access the cookie whatever here, but you guys can access the session. And you guys go inside the memory and the storage, and you guys gonna see that we have a cookie, which we, in the last video, we made our cookie here. You guys is Yazdani, and the value is 20. That's the time expiry, but you guys don't see the session. And by default, you guys going to see your session here, but you guys can access it. So you guys can access this one, but you guys can access your session, because, and there's going to be weird word. We're going to start our session, and we're going to show you guys how we're going to start the session. And when you guys go on Amazon, or when you guys go say eBay or any other shopping popular, Alibaba, when you guys go and select a product, or you guys select a dress, or you guys select a TV, laptop, whatever, and the session remembers you. Session remembers that you guys selected one. You guys go and say place your order, my cart, and the my cart, you go there and my cart, and the my cart remembers whatever through the session. So whatever you guys do, the session is very important, especially if you guys making the e-commerce website. So when the user goes there and selects some product, and that product, then you guys, the user selects this, say this is the product, and they select the product goes inside the cart through the session, and the session remembers that this user which has this session ID has selected one product or two product or three product, and it goes to the cart, and from the cart it goes to the checkout, and it calculates whatever the amount you guys put. Say you guys put a $50 or $100, it remembers that you guys owe, the total is 150, and when it goes to the checkout and the payment, Then the session remembers, all happens through the session. The session remembers that you guys owe 150, it needs to be paid, and then you guys go and integrate your site to the MasterCard or PayPal, whatever you guys gonna do. But the PayPal and MasterCard, they don't know what happened to the session of your session. All they know that this your website is asking them to deduct this much money, that's 150 from the user, such and such user, and all they need interested is the user account detail. So as soon as the user put the account detail, then they deduct that money. But they don't know that what the user did, how many, what sort of product the user bought, whatever they bought. They have no interest in that one. All they have interested about the, so how much the user owe you and how much we're going to deduct the money. That's it. So they have, like you guys go in bank, and there is a two parties, they go to the bank, they don't care what the two parties, what the names are, whatever, and you ask the bank to transfer this money from the A to B, to client A to client B. That's what they're going to do. They don't remember the rest. And the session, you as a programmer, you guys know what happened with the user, what the user did, what the user selected, what the user unselected, removed from the shopping cart, whatever. And the session, that's what happens with the session. Session is very, very important, because the session remembers everything. And you when you guys want to start the session, all you guys needs to do, come here at the top of your page, and you put session starts. That's it. And you guys gonna see when I put a SESS, then PHP knows that I want to start my session. The first one you guys gonna do is you start your session and say session save path, and you're gonna session destroy. When the user logs out, you guys need to destroy the session. And when the user goes to the inside the payment and paid, you guys should unset the session, because you guys should remove whatever is inside the session, whatever the data is inside the session. So we're going to go in these ones later on when we getting very advanced in PHP. Then but at the moment you guys need to learn that there is something called session start, and you guys need to start the session. Okay, so now we are starting our session. And if you guys gonna come here, what you guys gonna see is the PHP SESSID. So when you guys come here at the storage, instead of this one, you guys gonna see this one, PHP SESSID, because this is the default session. This is the default PHP default session ID, but you guys can change that. You guys can change anything you guys like. And as we've seen inside the thread, the CSRF, you guys can say there is a threat against the session. It's called session hijacking. That the hackers, they come and hijack the session, and the session they produce the CSRF tokens. So that token remembers everything inside the PHP. When you guys gonna come here and inside our program and log in, then the session is, they make tokens. So the user comes in, and as soon as the user logs in, the session makes a token, and that token goes inside the database, SQL database, and that's how they remember, the PHP remembers that this user have this token. But if the token mismatched, then the users won't be allowed. So if some hackers gonna come in and done session hijack or hijack your page, and because at the moment of registration, Facebook or Twitter, they're going to create that token from the user, and if that token mismatched, then the user is going to throw everything, all the users out, and going to close the door, because they know that it's a threat and the account is compromised. So that's how the session token, very, very useful if you as a PHP programmers. So session is very, very important. It helps you guys with remembering the user, remembering who's coming inside the warehouse, inside your website, who's going, who's doing what, if the user is buying something, or if the user choosing something, is very, very important. All this Amazon, eBay, Alibaba, all these joint big companies, they rely on session for the user's cart, what the user's buying, what the user's liking, what the user's doing, whatever the user's doing. And Facebook, everything on the Twitter, they remember the user session and to create a token. So because they need to create something called session token. And keep in mind that whenever you guys go on any website and you guys gonna log in, and the session remembers that you're logged in. So session remembers that login user data, and that's how remember the user, and then the PHP goes there and they make it like a session. So I'll make it like that. Being a PHP programmer, you guys should know this session, and inside what's the variable, it says that the user ID is the variable, and remembers that one as like whatever you guys gonna put it. Say you guys gonna put it 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, your ID. This is your ID. Our you guys can put a 555, whatever your ID is. So now from now on, the user, your Yazdani user ID, whatever, that's their ID, or whatever the ID, maybe 1 2 3, maybe 1 2, this is your ID. So whatever the ID computer generates for you. So that's how remember. And by default, PHP is not going to start your session. You guys need to start it yourself. So by default, you guys seen this one, but that PHP did not start my session here. You guys don't see any session here, but when you guys gonna come here and you guys gonna put a session start at the top of your whatever you guys want to put. So I'm gonna start it at the top before the cookies. I want to start my session for my website, and when you guys gonna, if I refresh, and you guys gonna see here. So I'm gonna put something like if no session start, and I'm gonna put it start, then echo your session did not start. Okay, so I just wanna return, so I just want to put some sort of here condition that if my session didn't start, you just let me know that my session didn't start. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna see, and I'm gonna check if my session starts. So I think my session started, so I'm gonna go here, and it's a memory storage, and you guys gonna see here that my session is already started. It's a PHP SSID because I didn't see the message, and that's the value. And as I said to you guys, PHP SSID is a session, an expired session, and that's a path, that's a root, and its domain is localhost. Domain is like your website name, google.com, facebook.com, twitter.com. that's the domain. And our domain name, because it's internal, is a localhost. That's you guys remember. And when you guys go on a live website, you don't see localhost because it's not local, it's a live host. It's called live host, and it's facebook.com or whatever the name of the website is. And you guys going to see this is type HTTP is only is false, secure is false, because your secure session at the moment is false. And that's how it remembers last access 3 March, and that's how it is. The session is